All right, let's continue along. Hope you guys are all doing good. New day, fresh new experience. Let's hit the campfire and see if we've got anything going on here. No, okay, looks like I left it pretty good. So today, we're going to be checking out the Red Mill area. We're going to be progressing a little bit further through the Soviet installation and actually finally completing it. So like we started here, we did all this, we did this, then we did a huge section here. We've got a billion different things, like including a tomb here. And now finally, we're actually going to leave the installation. So the idea is that Trinity are about to attack a village of these people who live here that's on the other side of the mountain, and that's where we're trying to get to. We're following Jacob, who went there first. So, let's see what we can grab, and
more propaganda. Work hard to fight cold and hunger.
Basically, collect as many things as we possibly can en route. So yeah, we got a couple of challenges.
Fighting seems to be pointing to something nearby.
That are already underway, if you remember from before, such as cutting down these flags, and this flag is still glowing here, but we still can't do it because we don't have the combat knife. So without the knife, this is still pretty much impossible for us, even though this is our first time through here, which sort of sucks, but I guess we'll make do. Anyway, from reading that monolith, we do actually reveal some extra coin caches and things back where we used to be. I'm not going to get too obsessed over it. In fact, what I think we're going to do is some dedicated trips back to the installation soon-ish. Oh my god, it's all the way over there, screw it. When we have a bunch of stuff so we can fully complete the area. And that will make itself clear to you guys very soon. However, first of all, obviously, the way forward is going to be through here. Now, there's something I wanted to mention to you guys several times as we've been playing. These first times, this game sort of has something of a day and night cycle.
Lara, are you okay?
Yes. I'm at the base of the old Soviet mill.
I'm making my way to the mine entrance at the top of the facility. Can you meet me there?
I'm on my way.
Alright, so he's up at the entrance. He's just a little bit further ahead. Very convenient, so we don't have to wander around with an NPC with us, right? But so the game never really makes it clear, but it sort of has a day and night cycle, but it's a bit restricted. See, the first time you go through most areas in this game, it's going to be daytime. However, when you return to them later on, the time of day is shifted. So the first time we're here, it will be all nice and it will be all daytime. And in my opinion, when it comes to snowy areas, they look much better during the day. And it will never be like this when we return here again. So really get a load of it while you can. Let's quickly open up this map before I tell you guys something really awesome that's going on.
Comrades, this report comes to you following an unprecedented discovery in the mountains of Freedom Station. Our deep mine crew has broken into a massive cavern filled with incredible ruins and artifacts, the likes of which have never been found in the motherland. The workers that we acquired from the native population have become agitated following the discovery. They clearly know something about these ruins. We will begin working the prisoners around the clock, for I believe we are on the verge of an even more amazing discovery.
Okay, see, what I find kind of interesting about this, alright, is they've already explained to us that the Russians came here and started excavating the place, but that they don't seem to have originally realized that they were on some great architectural, majestic discovery, that then later they started pursuing more focused on that. But we also heard that when they were building the railway, that a lot of the people building the railway didn't really know why they were doing it. And so I wonder if this is just another example of that really the Soviets did come seeking the divine source or relics or whatever they're breaking into, and that was their primary ambition, but it's just your average lackey didn't know until obviously they found themselves digging through, these great ruins and things. And I wonder what would be even crazier is if this turned out to be a Trinity plot itself from way back when, And this is just a renewed... It was just under the guise of what the Soviets were doing. That'd be pretty interesting. Anyways, communications from the Soviet commander. They found ruins here. Oh, I wonder whether we will too. I mean, we found some ruins and some tombs already as it stands. You guys might know, speaking about the day-night cycle and how it looks best the first time you come through, you guys might know, maybe, I don't know, it depends how YouTube compression goes. If you're watching on the dedicated drive I host for people on Patreon, you might notice the difference a little bit more. But you might have noticed that the game is running a little bit smoother, and I've actually cranked up the settings to their true max now. The only thing I don't have on its true max is SAA, a form of times 4, a form of a form of anti-aliasing. And the reason I haven't done that is because even though the game runs fine with it now, It somehow seems to be crashing anyway. Like, it will say that it's out of VRAM, which is really worrying me. Or maybe not even VRAM, maybe just regular RAM. Whatever. In any case, I don't want to risk that while we're playing here to get day, and hopefully it doesn't happen. But yeah, and why? Well, because first of all, I overclocked my PC. Spent a long time looking into that to go hand in hand with the fact I've also got a 1080 now. So I'm very happy. It's so much smoother. I've got a monitor that will display much higher refresh rates as well than even 60 hertz. So every little bit really counts, and it's been huge. It's been really cool. Been playing it a lot between episodes here.
Another sculpture. But this one looks like a game.
Okay, so she says another sculpture here.
These pieces look familiar. I know I've seen something like this before.
So basically, when we look here, you see it's got this tagline here. It says Gulag Possessions. As you explore the Soviet installation, you can find different classifications of artifacts. And so one of those umbrella classifications are Soviet... okay, wait. Yeah, so these are the relics, are the Soviet possessions. And what Lara said there is she said another sculpture. And what she's doing is she's referring to this Wishmaker toy we found before. Let's just remind ourselves.
A small, intricate clockwork toy made of bits of scrap metal and other detritus, all from the Gulag. Must have taken a long time to gather the parts.
This stuff looks so awesome. It looks so cool. All right, so that's what she's referring to. It's funny because if you missed the Wishmaker toy, which is totally possible, then what she says here where she picked up the game wouldn't make any sense, all right? And then we also have this ID card we found before, and then there's 2 more that we haven't found of the Gulag possessions just yet. So you want to be careful of that kind of thing. If I mess up at any point during the series, I might accidentally skip ahead, but that's just the nature of the game in some ways. I'm sure that there's a proper way they've designed it all, but yeah. All right. And these come in such nice books. Look at how embellished and beautiful and cushy that box looks. Jesus. Okay. So that is boarded up, and I don't quite remember how to get through it. Maybe we just fire explosives or something at it in a second. We can try that in a mo. Let's just explore a little bit more in here. We've got some of these cars. And, of course, what we're looking at here, this is the remains of the railway. All right? It's quite incredible, actually. You see a lot of the tracks and things, but it's quite cool to think if you were to just follow that through, it would just get buried in the snow and the ice and just destroyed. And it's been, not only has it not been maintained for years and years and years, but it's actively been sabotaged for years and years and years, which is something even more important. The game's going to warn us that there's an optional tomb. There we go. An optional tomb nearby, which is a real... Okay, this might be my ignorance, because I do have 100% on this area of the world, all right? But I feel like I'm missing something. Because the game tells us there's an optional tomb, and you might think, oh, okay, there's an optional tomb. This must be it here, all right? But we need explosives to get through that metal barrier, so it's not particularly easy to do. We could find a can somewhere and then fill it with magnesite ore and explode our way in. But what's actually in there is a dead end, like a really blatant dead end. And so it's not the tomb. The tomb is actually higher up in a different area. And so I have no idea what that dead end is for, really. Later on in the game, it becomes increasingly easy to just blow your way through stuff like that. But that's so curious to me, and I wonder why it warns us all the way down here. Whether maybe this is like what we saw in the previous game, where there were a lot of dead ends that they put in that maybe could have been future DLC that never ended up existing. But hey. This room's quite important too, quite cool. Because what you'll notice, actually, is up here, there's a bunch of stuff. So we've got, you know, like a dartboard up there. There's a crate. There's even a poster there, which we'll talk about soon-ish. Very soon. There's a poster, and then there just seems to be things up there, but there's no way to make it. You can try as many times as you like to do this jump. It just doesn't work. There might be a way to bug it out, because the game is quite hilarious. I saw a GIF recently that I can't wait to show you guys that is just unbelievable in the way that it works. It's just the way you can make Lara fly around, but you cannot get up there. However, you can get here through an alternate entrance, or later there is some gear you get, probably the best gear in the game in terms of opening up the world. It's very cool. You can climb up here as well when you get that much later on. So just remember it. Don't be too worried. And oh, that's the thing. Oh, I guess we just had to walk around. Right, you don't blow your way through it. You just come from the other side and then you destroy it like so. Alright, okay, that's cool. And so I think that's pretty much the ground done. I don't think there's too much else that we want to worry about. Our main objective now is to climb. I don't think we should have missed anything. I mean, hell, we may have, but hey, whatever. All right, so let's... Oh, sorry, Lara. Sorry, I didn't realize I'd have to double tap. Let's get climbing, because this area is quite ridiculous in how high we're going to end up going up. This is a giant mess of crap that really, it defies belief that it somehow clings to the side of this mountain. but it does. We're gonna go up. We're gonna run with this ludicrous suspension of reality, and we're gonna play around in an enormous cliffside base. Somehow I'm not too comfortable about this jump, but Lara will make it through whenever she can. So I hope you guys are all okay. A huge thing happened between the last couple of episodes. Something I've been following for a long time. I actually did a couple of streams where I vaguely talked about it, and now I regret.
Like they were animals.
I regret vaguely talking about it, but our country voted on whether we wanted to leave the United Kingdom or not. I voted to remain. However, a lot of people around me voted to stay. And we've actually, that's gone through. That went through 2 days ago, and we're mired in the fallout of it right now, and it seems to have taken a lot of people by storm. Very, very worrying.
I don't think Anna shares our faith, or she's in this for something else. She's conflicted. I get that. I used to be the same way, but we've all got a part to play in this. Took another patrol to see if I could get another kill. Sure enough, caught a remnant at the perimeter. Took my time. Did it with my hands so I could see the light in her eyes go out. Stayed with her until she went cold. Magic.
Ugh.
Constantine tells us that with the Source we'll live forever, that we'll finally look upon the face of God. But I already have. This is where I'm supposed to be. Took me so long to find it, but this is it. I'm home.
See, this is so messed up, this guy. This is the Heart of Darkness guy. Remember, this is the guy who talked about the first kill he made as well before? What? He's so mad. And Trinity has to know what he's up to. Jesus, that guy. And yeah, all these people caught in cages. Well, they're not really caught in cages, but this is... Can you imagine this is how you live, guys? This is your existence. This tiny little bunk. I mean, I really don't think the game does... Well, the game does as good as it can. It's very hard to impress on people how small and horrible and caged that really looks to live. Can you imagine if you're like the fourth guy up? Look at that. It's mental. Anyway, we're just going to climb past these living quarters here of these kind of people.
We have a map of the facility. Negative. Even if we did, there's a lot of structural damage from the revolt.
Could be dangerous getting up higher. Weather and elements have taken them. So this is where the Soviets broke through.
Yeah. First contact was in one of the mine shafts, and they shifted all operations to retrieval. But it looks like the revolt came within a week.
Workers finally had enough.
You've seen this place, right? Seems like a safe bet. Let's see if we can find those manifests and join the others.
All right, we'll get searching. Any word on the escapees?
Likely dead. Constantine's selling going to the ice, but he's not convinced. Just keep your eyes open.
All right, that's it. I think they're done. Throw! And yeah, so we get a new mechanic here. Let's try and stay hidden, shall we? Lots of experience for those stealth kills. That's great. Do we have another bottle here maybe we can pick up? Oh, what? Lara picked one of those up in the cutscene, but apparently now that we're in gameplay, that's not good enough. Now they've just props in the environment rather than anything else. All right. Okay, this one's good. So yeah, but similar to how we can stuff magnesite ore into cans to create explosives, we can now stuff cloth into bottles of alcohol to set them on fire and create makeshift Molotov cocktails. No, it won't go off in your hand, ladies. Don't worry about that. But now we can create fire. Again, this is a returning mechanic from the previous game. Ooh, that was a cheeky shot. The crosshair didn't even show anything there. There we go. We managed to get through that without a hit. This is particularly brutal and particularly gruesome. I don't know whether you guys have ever really looked into this, but it kind of sounds like one of the worst ways to die is being burned alive. Like, genuinely one of the worst experiences you could... One of the worst ways to go out. And well, from this point on, we can do that as a staple of fighting our way through these people of Trinity. And, you know, just devour their bodies. I was actually watching a YouTube video recently where... a guy accidentally caught himself on fire at a campsite, and he did like a perfect stop, drop, and roll, and it's quite impressive. I feel like if I ever caught myself on fire, I wouldn't have the presence of mind to genuinely, you know, be smart in that situation, and it gave me a lot of hope. Gave me a lot of hope indeed. All right, so, what do we want to do in this room? I really want a mod, guys, where I can press Q and trigger survival instincts without the noise and without the lighting change, but hey, whatever. All right, so I just want to point out, guys, this room here That's the room we were in earlier, but we can jump up to without the special gear that I said. But there is an alternate entrance, as I said, and that's that slope there. So we want to pay attention to that because we want to go down there. Because now that we've got Molotov cocktails, we can set fires. And one of the challenges in this area is very similar to a challenge from the previous game. A challenge that, in my opinion, was basically the most cheeky challenge that the last game had, with one of the most outrageous objectives to it. So anyway, here we get a secret little area. Because don't forget, we can't... In the previous game, we could get flame arrows that let us shoot fire, but we don't have that here. We've just got the Molotov cocktails.
Soviet military dog tags. Standard issue. The name is Yuri Ravdonikas.
Yuri Ravdonikas. Really? What, that? That there is Russian for Yuri Ravdonikas. Oh, no, that there? Come on, Lara.
The word convicted is stamped on the back of the tag.
Oh, yeah, no, that says convicted. That's crazy. Man, not only do I feel like I should have had the respect, okay, and the actual mind to learn another language, I really wish I'd taken the time beyond that to learn a foreign alphabet. Man, that would be cool. All right, so as you saw there, though, that poster that we were stood next to a second ago actually lit up when I triggered survival instincts. And the reason is because that's a part of the challenge. So this gets a lot easier when you come back later in the game to get the angles, but right now we have to be kind of very specific about how we... Oh, God, I think I missed. Damn it. Is that going to land properly? No. We have to be very specific about how we trigger these things. And somehow I don't think these bottles are going to respawn like the explosive cans did in the cistern before. Well, maybe these... Oh, we got plenty here. That's fine.
Maybe we'll burn.
Yeah, Lara, don't worry. We're way ahead at that point. Let's just try and climb up here. I don't really know whether she can climb and rappel on things at this point, so let's not do that. I reckon that's probably where we want it. Come on. There we go. So the challenge here is difference of opinion. And yeah, burn all the cosmonaut propaganda posters. There you go. 1 of 7 burned. And one of them's down in that room below, so we'll be careful of that. But yeah, so this is actually a returning thing from the previous game where, once again, we had to destroy propaganda posters. But they had that outrageous one miles off. It was like the equivalent of looking, you know, all the way over there at that statue thing. And then you'd have to burn a poster on that. It was unbelievable. But this game so far, I've not really seen anything in a challenge like that is similar. So, yay. And, you know, just how ridiculous it is. Break away in here. It can be a little deceitful as well. All the posters are the same style. So like this here, this health and safety panel thing, that does not count as another poster. So you don't have to worry about that. And especially if you've got the perk as I bought us for this playthrough, where it will just light things up for you. It makes things a lot easier. Okay, this is how we get out of that hidden area with the big slope. So we want to get onto it. And what's the proper way? Because when I played this on my own, we definitely don't want to go that way just yet. Oh, have we done any of that yet? That swinging mechanic? I don't know if we have. All right, there's the ramp going down. So can we climb down from in here? Can we go underneath this? Ah, yeah, here we go. All right, let's sort this out. And we're starting to see that there were train carts and things down below. Well, now we're starting to find mine carts.
Another Soviet plaque.
I feel kind of bad about these plaques because a lot of them just get the stick, right? Instead of her having some unique dialogue each time that gives us a bit more flavor on the area, she just starts saying, "Oh, it's more propaganda. Oh, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything." Here, by the way, is one of the last high density areas. We'll find lots of locks to pick. But hey, I appreciate it. The more perked up, the more badass we get. We definitely do want a lot of brawler upgrades in the moment so that the combat gets a bit easier if I ever mess up with my stealth. That's what I like about this game, though. There's a good balance.
The hero of the Soviet Union Medal. It's the highest honor given for acts of heroism. Perhaps one of the Gulag officers?
See, we have... Oh, man, in the UK, we have to... I feel so ignorant. We've got the Victoria Cross, and then there's also... There's another one. There's one for civilian people. There's one for military people. And I think the one for civilians hasn't been given out for like 30 years or something. And even then, it was only given out posthumously. Anyway. So there the tagline, by the way, was Red Army Officer. So we're basically going to be collecting a bunch of stuff, as far as I understand it, from this same dude, right? Okay, so that's the way forward. Let's slide down here now, shall we? Gently, Lara. And you might think, oh, this is just a quick way back. What's the point? This is actually a really... we want to jump. You might think, what's the point of going all the way down there? It's just a fast way back, but it's for this secret. And the game, this map specifically is actually really smart with the way it gives you quick shortcuts back. The other thing to say about that, by the way, is that, okay, you know, where we have to jump, and if we didn't jump, we would have fell. That is essentially the very first secret of all Tomb Raider games ever, okay? That was the puzzle. That exact idea. Lara slides down a slope, and you have to jump, and you have to press the grab button as well to find a hidden ledge. Otherwise, she'll just fall and won't get anything. That exact concept. That's the first ever secret of the entire franchise. There you go. A little bit of trivia for you guys. All right, and as you can see here, we get another poster, and thankfully, oh god, okay, fine. I was trying to open the, I was trying to pick up a thing, not open this. And thankfully, the devs were nice enough to give us some balls. Man, with the amount of things we find here, you could get seriously pissed. Like, just spend your entire time drunk. I'm surprised that the people of Trinity haven't come in and just started boozing up. But mind you, they're quite professional. They're not like Matthias's men from the previous game, who were just cultists and hated where they were and felt forced into it. These are military dudes, and these are, you know, well-trained and well-equipped dudes. But it's not over yet. We also want to build a rope bridge up here. And we get the perk of the rope ascender to get up a bit quicker. You know, one of the things, there is a perk in this game that allows you to... Well, we'll open this first. No, we'll get this.
Order of the Red Banner Medal. Another high honor. But this medal has been deliberately defaced. Maybe the owner was disgraced.
Man, that's kind of interesting. Oh, look at how well detailed the material is. Lara has an outfit in this game, right? Where she gets basically like a black beanie hat that she wears. And when you jump into water, the black beanie hat gets wet. And it looks so real when she climbs out. It's amazing just how beautiful something on the macroscopic and the microscopic scale this game really has. Oh my god, it does things so well. But anyway, so as I was saying, we just used the rope ascender to climb up this, which is one of those things that basically speeds up one of Lara's most obvious normal movements throughout the game, which is cool. There's another one that speeds up how fast you climb around on rock faces. But my problem with it is oh, we have to lower this first. My problem with it is we have to get that so late in the game, you barely get any benefit from it. It's really well hidden as well. So I like that it's such a huge perk, but they give it to you so late. It's such a shame. It means that when you come back like I am now, replaying the game, you can't help but just think, oh, I wish I had this upgrade, and you just know you're not going to get it for so goddamn long. And I'll explain why as we get there. All right, so again, still, before we move on, and I know that there's quite a sincere temptation to do that. Here, by the way, for example, this is a quick route back for people, in that you could... Or is that just a quick route back? I mean, we could go onto that tower there, I think, by shimmying around. This is not the way we're supposed to go. Let's try this here. Ready? Yeah, okay, we can climb up here. This isn't a quick route back. We'll get to the quick route backs in a second. But before we progress forward, actually, there is that optional tomb to do in about this moment. It's not at this exact area here. But you might have noticed a second ago when I triggered survival instincts, a lot of stuff started lighting up. When we were over there, for example, it's a bit too far, you can't see. But there's a lot of little things over there that we haven't done just yet. Oh, and then they're just going to let us go back, are they? We could just rope ascend our way up? Well, hold on. What about this ladder up here? It'll be a little bit before we find a base camp as well, guys. I think the next one we'll find will be in the tomb. Totally optional, easy to miss. Here we go. This is a cool area, right? But there's no reason to come here at all. Like, no reason to come here. Except to admire, you know, the view and the fact that the game is incredibly impressive when you trigger survival instincts for showing certain things. For example, right? That's where we entered. This is where... That was the last base camp we were at. If I press Q... Survival instincts will show that we can climb on those walls over there. I want you to pick up some things. But, like, that wall over there, that's near the shack. That's the coin shack over there that it's got lit up, guys. All the way over there. That's a bloody long way away. And the game is smart enough to still have that loaded in memory, close enough that it knows that's where we actually want to go. Which is cool, because something like survival instinct should be able to see things really far away, such as that. But, yeah. Alright, so here we go. Let's climb up the back. Voila. That's a bit of a pointless set. No, Lara, why? What? What is the... Oh, the clunk. Clunk strikes again. Alright, screw it. It put us back here after we respawned. Let's just progress on. Let's just progress on. I wanna go to the tomb, and I'm pretty sure we have to go a bit further for this. Alright, so here we go. Now we get rope swing. It's still teaching us new stuff. We haven't seen this yet, right? They don't actually use this too much, but it is cool. all we have to do is fire, and, you know, it will get us to another area. Mechanically speaking, there's really not a big difference between the way that works and where that allows us to go versus, you know, rope bridges. It just depends which one the dev wanted to use. Tomb Raider 4 was when this originally became a thing in the franchise, and it was awful. It required you to have to hold about 5 different buttons on the controller all at once and at various moments just so that you could swing and move to the right. It was just terrible. There's a specific moment in Tomb Raider 4 in the catacombs that was probably the worst moment in any Tomb Raider game for me, in terms of you'd swing at various ropes and miss, and you'd have to replay it like 100 times just to get through. It's terrible. Absolutely awful. But yeah. Alright, let's keep going. Look at this nice little movement here. See, like there, it still knows that coin cache is down there. Come on, Laura, Laura, Laura. That's a bit of a cheap scare what they do there, by the way, because that beam doesn't actually fall. Like, if we were to now go back to the bottom of the red mill, we could still use that beam. Also, oh no, why? Oh, what? I didn't jump, I just looked to the left. Actually, that strengthens my point. Hold on 1 second. Alright, okay, that strengthens my point about something, because what I wanted to show you guys was this, okay? That ground there that we're right next to is just a tiny little slope, tiny weeny little slope back to the regular area, right? Back to where we were a minute ago, where the wolf den was and all that stuff. We're just a wee little bit. But if you fall, the game has decided at this point that, no, you're not allowed to go back there. That's not right. And it will just kill you for the tiniest little thing. Just floppy, weird, very aggressively dictated, you know, on-rails experiences. It's a bit of a shame. But yeah, alright, let's go get one of these bundles of sticks. And we actually get a bit of a choice of where we climb to now, but it's nothing major. We basically get to climb on top of this drum and then choose, do we go forward or do we go left? Woo! I just want to get to the tomb, because this is... Oh, I don't know whether it's fair to say it's my favourite.
All sorts of artifacts. It matches the description of the Soviet intel. Yeah, this is where they broke through into the ruins.
Well, see, we could go left.
Sure. Can't really see. But I just lost contact with the sweep team down below.
Understood. I'll radio the forward team to be prepared. Can you see any movement?
This is Sparta! Down he goes. Oh, I know we could have got a bit more dialogue, but you just have to take the opportunity sometimes. We just get to sneak up on him. The guy on the other side of that phone must be pissing themselves now, right? Here, I'll show you guys the other route, though, as we come up, all right? Instead of doing that, you could instead take the left. And the game does quite a good job, actually, not letting you realize that this is a possibility. We could have shot that nest off there. And instead, you'll just climb straight up onto the roof up here. Which has its perks, because the alternative was a bit more meandering. I don't think we should have missed really any pickups there. Just having a look, trying to make sure that there's no, you know, poster or something. I'm pretty sure there's not. All right, let's get going. So you could just skip the dude altogether. It's an interesting thought of doing like a pacifist run of this game. All right, we get to pick this up. And now what you'll find is we're back in, we're just above where we were before. Where we first learned how to use Molotov cocktails. That was just down there. So let's rope swing over. And see how this entire time... Oh, come on! What? Alright, do we have any bottles to try a new thing? No? Oh, sorry. Steam interrupted me there a little bit. Oh, no. Don't you get to kill me here. How did that pistol shot miss, by the way? Don't see how that's... Ooh! Yeah, kill someone while they're in the middle of that. Yeah, they will blow up. Here you go, Lara. Here you'll notice an advantage. Alright, that's a great example there of why this is better than shooting people. What that actually allowed me to do is arc it over without basically breaking from my cover in any way, right? Like, if I want to aim, Lara will have to stand up, puts herself at risk. If I simply throw the bottle from cover, then I get to maintain my cover. See? Same would be for something like this with these grenades. There's a guy over there. We'll try and get close. There we go. There's even an explosive barrel over there. If she can throw it far enough. Didn't look like she could. Let's grab this here. Oh, we got to advance forward a little bit, that's all. See, and so you can basically play purely through killing people with the handheld stuff. Which is, oh god, yeah, they will destroy your cover. Which is cool because We get more experience from doing that because of our perk a second ago. Alright.
Just you and me.
That's the best sound effect that they never should have put in the game, by the way. The just you and me. You hear that all the time, and it always lets you know that, you know, maybe don't worry about healing right now. Maybe don't worry about that specific moment of healing. Maybe don't go for this risky strategy. Maybe don't worry about other people about to snipe you from far away when they get more long-range weapons. Don't worry, because that guy just said it's just you and me left. And that, of course, means that you're in the clear in a second. It's so silly. All right. Keep your eye out for posters, everyone, and scream at me if you notice that I've just wandered past one. Because I don't have, you know, perfect mastermind-like memory of where all this stuff is. I feel like maybe we can only do the tomb on our second time through. Am I crazy? I'm going to really regret saying that in a minute, but I feel like we're climbing a little bit too high now. That since we've climbed this high, we really shouldn't have missed it at this point. I might go back down and have a look in a second.
The Red Army finally uncovered the Temple of the Prophet's Blessing. They have halted normal operations and are beginning to plunder the riches of our ancestors. We're ready. Working with the foreign prisoners, we've managed to hoard weapons and dynamite. When the Guardians are disturbed, we will use the chaos to revolt. The Red Army has been ruthless to us, but we will pay them back in kind. We will not stop until these invaders are dead. Only then will our secret be safe.
All right, 2 things to point out, all right? Number 1, halted their normal operations. See, they were doing other stuff. This was not their primary goal, or so it would seem on the surface. But here's what's important. The people native to the mountains, like Jacob's people, the guy who wrote this, they took advantage of the fact that the Soviets were using prisoners and using forced labor in these gulags to basically work that to their advantage. These foreign prisoners they're talking about, these are the Soviets who were working doing it, but they didn't want to be doing it and they wanted to rebel. So yeah, but then what's this? This is a weird comment. When the Guardians are disturbed, we'll use the chaos to revolt. Guardians? What the hell could that mean? You guys might recall that from the previous game, there were Guardians on Yamatai to an extent, the Oni, who really held no allegiance to anyone. Is this an Oni style thing? I know that that's certainly what came to my mind first of all. All right, guys, I'm going to go check for this tomb entrance because I feel like we've missed it, and I'll see you in a second. All right, so here we go. This is a rope bridge, by the way, that takes us further back to where we were earlier. And it's for the players later on. Oh, here we go. So we definitely haven't been here. That bridge there, that area, is for players who come back who have missed stuff on their first time through. So here we get a map as well for our efforts, which will reveal a bunch of stuff for us. And most importantly, reveal that we got everything. There's just a single document later on. And then also this cave entrance, which I showed you earlier is the dead end, but we couldn't get into anyway because we needed explosives and there weren't any around. But then also the tomb nearby. I think from here I should be able to navigate us to the tomb just fine. Here we go. Yeah. Oh my god. I'm annoyed. I'm angry. It was so simple. All we had to do was move over here. I didn't need to progress earlier. Okay. We're going to drop down here, guys. And we're going to be on a bit of a detour for a bit. Okay. So, this is the tomb. Man, I had that niggling in the back of my head the whole time. Here we go. So we got a new bow. Excellent. We also, I think earlier, was it just a machine gun part? Or was it an entirely new machine gun altogether? But with that new bow, I'm pretty sure you guys know, actually, we've been getting parts of the compound bow as we've been exploring the Soviet installation. I believe that was our 4th part of it, which is very nice. Strong boxes are basically some of the most rewarding things you can get in the game. You guys, one thing I'm hoping to show you very soon is you might see all these different weapons and think, oh, they don't really feel that different. They don't really, you know, they'll look different, but they don't actually function very differently. Well, just how wrong you are on that, hopefully, I can make clear soon. So we go, we'll interact with this. And oh my god, big, scary metal door.
Lights still work. Looks like pitch blende. Must have been a uranium mine.
So there you go. That's what they were here for. Uranium.
Ancient. What did they find down here?
And all these documents that we've been listening to about that they found hidden stuff. Woo! This is such a cool. This is a very, very, very cool tomb. I like it indeed. And again, it's another example. Don't forget, like the other tombs we've done so far. One was like the cistern. One was Well, the one before the cistern wasn't that great. What is that over there? I think that was just magnesite ore on the wall, which is fine. What was the other tomb we did? The other one maybe wasn't that interesting. But here you're going to start seeing they could be huge, sweeping different areas. The cistern had a base camp of its own, and this one does too. Come on, Lara. Here we actually get a fork in the road. They want you to go to the right, which is where the lights are leading you to. Or if you go left, you get a cache. Pretty sure this one's a survival cache. Glinting away in the darkness. Good job. See, I feel like avid learner, we get it so quick in the game. I like that they give it to you an option instantly, but it doesn't really give people an opportunity to appreciate how much it sped their XP up. And you're basically just going to read it out of everything in this entire game, no matter how rich and dramatic and varied the plot is. It kind of makes me smile to think that, oh, no, hold on. Yeah, we do have bottles. Oh my god. That would have been really annoying if we couldn't get through there. It's funny to me to think that no matter how rich and incredible the whole story is, the thing most people read probably more than anything else is going to be avid learner. Oh god, careful, Lara. Don't take it all down just because you've got some hunger, some thirst for adventure. Just because you happen to be hungry like the wolf. Alright. Here we go up here. Gently. Gently. I said gently! I said gently! No! No! You actually do go up there eventually.
Hell of an entrance.
As we all know, Lara cannot enter places without tumbling and crashing and falling her way down. Alright, so up there, remember we had this experience in the cistern already. There's like an optional route to get back out. There you go, that's it over there. No pickups en route. Oh, I'll check. I'll cut it if there aren't. Yeah, no pickups en route up here. This just takes you back up to the top. But you'll notice that this wall is glowing. The ultimate exit to the entire tomb here, that's it there. But we can't do anything with it just yet. We can just wonder at its existence. Which is lovely, don't you think? Alright, so down we go. Let's see what the Soviets dug into after they were digging for their uranium. What was more important than uranium, perhaps, at the time of the Cold War?
Facts. They must have broken through into an old passage. Got to see it for myself.
Well, it seems they did. So yeah, Lara can't get these caches, by the way, while dialogue's going on. It's only stuff like that, though. She can break open boxes as far as I'm aware. She can do anything. And I think the difference is when you get caches and things like that, that's when it wants to save the game. And that's when... Oh, God. And that's when it wants to, like, actually forcibly take control of the camera. And I don't think that's compatible with a lot of her other dialogue that they want to do. Maybe it always wants to save after other dialogue she gives. Who knows?
This flask belonged to a soldier in the Red Army. I don't recognize the insignia.
See, again, the hip flask of this same officer.
It's still half full. I may need this before I'm done.
Lara, the shame! How dare you say such a thing! You drunk bastard!
Got to get it past the water somehow.
So the hip flask is good enough for her from a celebrated officer who was maybe then shamed later on in his life. But all these random bottles of liquor around, Alright, so here's a cool mechanic they start playing with. And really enjoy this because the tombs are quite exceptional in that they play with things. They offer experiences that nowhere else in the game does it happen. Nowhere else in the entire game, outside of like optional tombs, as far as I remember, will this mechanic here occur, where it puts it out as you throw it through. So what do? We have to arc it over, like so. And that's just the first little way they play with it. How cool is that? And you know, it's really funny because usually when I play games, I see developers invent like a cool thing like we just did.
Whatever they found, it's got to be in there.
And what they'll do is they'll reuse it and reuse it and reuse it to the point where it's really not special when you have a dedicated area playing with it. But I feel like Tomb Raider, this game, does the exact opposite, and it goes too far to the extreme. There's a lot of cool stuff in Tombs. Like, remember that thing I said about Tomb Raider 4 when we were in the cistern where you drop down and there's all those blades that were spinning? That's cool. You don't see that anywhere else in the entire game. You don't see this anywhere, and that seems like a bit of a shame to me, especially considering how easy it is to miss these things. You just saw me. I came into this area of the game wanting to show this off to you, and I missed it. I had to go back on my tracks because I knew it was here. Now, the game does spam you incessantly with a message saying there's a tomb, but still.
Someone was hiding mining tools and makeshift weapons.
We can no longer wait for our brothers outside the mines to begin their resistance. The Soviets have found something they desire more than the poison ore. They found our forefathers' history, have desecrated their tombs. This is the last injustice. We thought at first the old guardians would emerge and punish our tormentors. But now I see we will have to be the instrument of God's retribution. We gather our strength, store picks and axes in secret places. Very soon, those of us that are still well enough will rise up and bury our repressors here before they erase our past along with our present.
Man, see? Oh my god, I love the order that we've read some of these things in. This is great! So they thought that the Guardians would be here, but there are no Guardians here? So they're the Resistance. They're going to do it themselves. And eventually it does seem they were successful, because this place went to shit. There was never any news of what happened here that hit the rest of the world. Alright, so there we go. Map updated with more secrets. This, by the way, I thought Lara was saying something there. That, by the way, is a really good map because we're really far away now. Look at where we are on the actual world map here. We're right on the edge of the Soviet installation. Just think for a second, by the way, guys. We are still on the same map, getting the same pickups as you know, when we were destroying laptops all the way over there. That's how huge this area is, right? Or when we did this little section of the map here that we're running along. This was when we were fleeing from the helicopter and we jumped into the lake. All the same map. But the thing is, we're quite far away, and it would be annoying to come back here having missed stuff, so they give you the treasure map quite comfortably. I think they do that on purpose. But there is a base camp down here anyway, allowing us to fast travel into these depths whenever the hell we like. And speak of the devil, here it is. And boy, did we want this. It's been a while. Still only 1 skill point, though. Damn. New weapon available, compound bow. Oh yeah, so that's what you get from the Soviet installation from getting enough strong boxes. The compound bow becomes available, so that's the second on the list. This, again, this is a returning weapon from the previous game. This is what Jonah gave us towards the end of the previous one. We'll get some string knocks for it. Arrow knocks on the bring itself allow for quicker reloading of arrows and a faster fire rate. It gets applied to all bows, so very nice. We also can get an upgrade for our machine gun here too, which, well, we can buy a few actually. Precision, oh my god, the screen shake. Precision milled barrel allows shots to fire, no disruption introductory for increased damage. Alright, increased damage for all of our rifles, that's fine by me. And boy, will we want to. We could also get a modified firing pin, smoother firing for increased rate of fire. Man, that almost hurts my head when that shakes like that. Excellent. So there you go. We'll use the regular compound bow for a while, then I'll show you the DLC version of it, which does look very pretty, by the way. Let's go back into a new outfit here as well. Apex Predator, there's not going to be any wild animals here, so that one's a bit boring. Alright, and let's wear this outfit here. This is Hope's Bastion. We just upgraded our bow, right? So let's wear this. This is a mix of chainmail, a thick blue shirt, and exotic fur cowl. It's very nice. But the bonus is that when we fire arrows, sometimes it won't reduce the count of the available ammo, which is cool. It's a thematic perk. It's pretty lame, though, because later on you get so much ammo anyway, and it's so easy to craft arrows that really doesn't mean too much, but whatever. All right, and we did get a skill point. Let's go back to Brawler, and let's continue focus on getting a little bit more tanky and just doing a bit better in fights. So how about enemies killed while in stealth will automatically be looted for their resources. And we've been getting a lot of stealth kills, so that's quite nice. All right, cool. And we're well and truly into the tombs, so let's clear this place out. Let's see what they were looking for. Let's make this jump. I actually did this very recently. This was one of the last tombs I completed on my first playthrough of the game. One of the last. So with any luck, I won't piss about with it too much. Alright, so this looks pretty basic, apparently. But oh, hold on. That water goes all the way to, so we can't... It doesn't work. Any insights, Lara? But that's the eventual location that we want to reach, alright? And we've got infinite bottles over there, which is very nice. So what else is here? Well, a relic.
A trigger mechanism for a bomb. It's the same handiwork. He must have been gathering the supplies for a long time.
And so now you see he's not just making toys as a prisoner, and he's not just making, you know, like a game that he made before and stuff and just random cool things. He's actually started doing things that would cause some serious destruction here to fight up against his oppressors. And there's a fuse. Same guy. Well, I guess there's no real evidence that it is the same guy, but hey. We'll let Lara believe what she wants to believe.
There it is. So close. Got to find a way inside.
So yeah, that's our ultimate goal. This is what, and this is kind of cool. It's a cool idea. You might have already been thinking, WP, how the hell is this a tomb? Right? This isn't really a tomb. I mean, it's sort of a tomb because the men who worked here might have died here, and then you could call it a tomb in that respect. But all the tombs will eventually give us one of those books. Remember, the books have given us special perks, like being able to double fire arrows. That's really cool. We want that. But it's kind of a clever idea that what the Russians did is they found this and then they brought it into this installation. So we still end the tomb with the same kind of reward. And that's what Lara's got her eyes on.
When the uranium ore was nearly gone, I feared our operation was at an end. But even as we moved to close the shaft, fate intervened. We found a chamber, half destroyed by a cave-in, but clearly made by the hands of man. The artifacts inside are ancient, nearly 1,000 years old, untouched since the tomb was sealed. We redouble our efforts. Instead of mining, the workers now search and retrieve the artifacts inside. The natives of the valley, their resistance once broken, now bristle at this new assignment, as if they do not wish the relics to be seen. We will need to make an example of a few young men before their dark looks lead to something more.
See how cool this is? The worklog of a Soviet mine foreman. They discovered something down here. I cannot help. I'm so curious about this first line. He fears that their operation is at an end. So this man, okay, the foreman, does he fear that their operation was at an end as they ran out of uranium because he would have been out of a job and relocated or something like that? Or was it because the entire operation, the search for uranium, was always just a trick, a fake objective, because they were desperate to uncover this thing? And then he says, finally, right at the end, they break in. It's very exciting. All right, let's get through here as well. Okay. So that's just like a little bonus. Now, you've already noticed there's this big old thing, orange thing here. I wonder how this functions. What the hell could we do with this? I hear you cry out loud.
Those minecarts. Perhaps they could block the water.
Well, perhaps they can, Lara. So, first things first, let's get a feel for what this tomb does. So, knocking this down raises the other one up, which knocks the minecart.
Yes, that's it.
There we go.
The water's blocked.
Excellent. No!
Got to find a way to block it for good.
And then she automatically drops off. So that doesn't work, all right? So it's going to be a little bit more complicated. By the way, I get some serious, like, Aperture Science Lab feels from this place. It's like, we're basically in a big, empty test chamber. And if you tried to look too far away, it's like, just emptiness. Okay, so that didn't work. Well, what about this other stuff higher up? Well, you can see the rail where the minecarts come from. It's over there.
Must be a way to free another cart.
And here, you can actually see that we can fire a rope at the front of a minecart, knocking it through the gate, which swings open and then swings shut again afterwards. And then the minecart comes along, and then it hits that, ready for us to jump on that, and the same thing will happen again. Well, not quite, though, because now what you've noticed is there's only one minecart. And the gate's shut, so the next time a minecart rolls down, conveniently after we destroy this one, it's going to get blocked. So there's not going to be a stockpile, which caused the issue before. But how does this help exactly? Because, as you'll see, that doesn't do a goddamn thing. It doesn't even come close enough. So, then you might realize something. Well, what the minecart needs is a bit of speed, right? It needs some speed, some momentum, so that not only will it go off of this rail here, but it will go far enough along to block the flow of the water. So we've got to be quick. So we're going to pull the front of the minecart, and then we're going to cheese it, and this is where the game can bug out, annoyingly. We're going to lift it up just in time for it still to fail. Good. So, the plot thickens. Alright, so basically what we're going to have to do is go higher up. Because you might have already noticed, as we climb up here, instead of going onto that platform, there's actually a rope here. Sorry, a pole. If we swing along the pole, we can climb on top of the old room we were on here. There's a mural.
Another mural.
Guess what mural I missed on my first time playing through the game? This one right here. And we can come up here. This, by the way, reminds me a lot of Tomb Raider 2 when you're climbing around on top of the Opera House. It just feels so much like the old games. And here you've got some rope, right? We got a spool. So, I've sort of done this in a slightly wrong order because I'm trying to show you guys the environment. We crawl down here, we get a nice little pickup too. I feel like spamming C moves her quicker in moments like this. Thank you for that, Lara. Now let's get out. If you guys can't see anything, don't worry, neither can I. Alright, and so what could we do with this? Well, now it should be clear. What if we release a minecart first? Then we can tie this rope to the front of the minecart, then release it, then the minecart will fall and hang from this right under the water. No? So there you go. That I'll tell you now. That's your solution. So let's come back over. And we do it from here. Let's release the minecart. That will trundle along just fine. While it does so, we're going to go back on top of the roof of the Opera House. Man, I wish I could read Russian in this game. I feel like I could go so much deeper with the trivia for you all, just by, like, translating all these signs and things. And sometimes it feels really important, but hey, whatever. Oh, whoa, what? Oh, yeah, it is there. Okay, good. And now we connect those. Lara might even have a quip for us, question mark? Maybe not. And the whole tomb, basically, is this one little puzzle, by the way, guys. And down we go. And so, you know, I feel like it's very clever the way that they design stuff like this, because...
That did it. Now for a little fire.
Because, you know, they've blended a puzzle of logic really, really nicely into a weird and abstract environment here, right? And I feel like that's probably what the most... As a video game developer who has to work on puzzles and things like this is probably, you know... The beauty of this isn't some weird thing where they want you to connect a rope to a minecart, but the fact that this weird like physics puzzle seems to make sense in the environment so much, that's what's clever. Oh, I forgot to light it. No. That's what's clever. I'm clearly not. Oh my god. All right, there you go. Let's try that again, Lara. Can you just throw it from here maybe? Thank you. And through we go. We're in the end. More of these bunks. These people seem to have better bunks than the guys upstairs. Christ, no cages around them at least. Got some more explosive ore. Can't open that in any way. Just trying to scan quite carefully.
Seems like the workers had finally had enough.
Yep. The workers had finally had enough. This guy basically got stabbed in the back with a pickaxe. So, I mean, if you ever wanted any evidence that that it was the workers that enacted this revolt, then that's probably it right there. Just killed the officer in his sleep. And look at this pile of crap.
Looks like they dragged it out of here.
Look at this. So much cool stuff here. And of course the one thing we really want. But hold on, let's just get some more cloth. Cloth is good because since we have to keep lighting fires with our bottles and things now. And we got some Byzantine coins here. These are the things that are really easy to miss. And what perk will it be this time? Drum roll. Aha!
It's an ancient codex. A philosophical argument on the virtue of awareness.
Bright eyes. Improved survival instincts will now cause nearby traps to glow automatically. That's, I guess, somewhat relevant for here. Because what you might remember happened when we first entered this mine was we were walking across some planks and we fell, we broke through them. And then, you know, had a bit of a dramatic entrance. Well, now you'd see stuff like that.
Damage between the amateur excavation and the cave-in. But it must be connected to the Prophet.
I think she's talking about this, of course, here. Underneath us. I always like this story where you're trying to go to ancient untouched places, but you find that other humans have got there before you and completely balls stuff up, you know?
This shaft must have been where they first broke through. Should lead out as well.
Which is very convenient, especially when you find, as we climb in a second, that this is exactly... Oh, I don't think there will have been anything on that platform. That this is exactly on the other side of that little wooden wall I showed you earlier, thus giving us our escape. You actually have two options here, by the way. You could do all of this and go through these areas that the developers lovingly designed and so forth, but nonetheless takes a while and probably isn't going to give you any real benefit. Or you could just go back to the base camp in the tomb itself and fast travel out. Which, I don't know, feels a bit weird because there is so much you have to walk through to get out, and the fast traveling would have just, you know, allowed you to bypass it. So here you go, that's the other side of the wall we were at, right? That's where the trap was we fell down. And if we come up here, you'll find this was the other thing that we messed up with. Now, I'm not quite sure if we... Well, I think we're just supposed to go for the jump here. Ready? Laura. Okay, good. I don't know. So now we get to walk back through all these areas we were going in the other direction before. It always makes me think, right? I never used to pay attention to the kind of thing when I was playing games, right? You think, oh, the devs just clearly, they make an area, they make an environment, they you know, they sculpt out an in-game playable space, and that's it, right? And then they'll put you know, reasons for the player to move through it. But the game that really made me start thinking about this was actually the original Guild Wars, right? Because in the original Guild Wars, they had loads of missions and environments that you'd have to run through. But they were only designed for the player to go one way, not forward and backwards. It was just go through in that one direction. And so if you did a really bizarre thing for whatever reason that you basically had never had any incentive to actually do, but you decided as a player you were going to go into one of those missions and walk backwards to forwards, you would find that the environments looked really crappy and there were world tears everywhere and it was just all shoddily thrown together. And it's because they never expected any players to just walk back the other way. So like this here that I'm jumping on, this board and all this stuff that I can platform through, this all had to be put here to accommodate for the player that goes back when, in theory, a lot of them could just skip it. The smarter ones, the ones that are really thinking about it, will just skip it by fast traveling. I feel like the only reason that any of us even try to come backwards through a place like this is in case there are pickups here that we may have missed. That's our incentive. But, you know, some games just don't include that incentive at all. What the hell's down here? Lara? Did we already get this? Whatever this was? Speaking of pickups. And there we go, we're out. Woof! So that's the mine. I am pretty determined to keep going, though, here. We will finish this section of the game. That, of course, was all optional. All could have been ignored. But it's very hard for me to justify that. Even if you don't care that your survival instincts now shine red, there's so much, like, really uniquely hidden and specific mechanics in tombs. It feels like you cut away a lot of this game if you don't do the tombs. The previous game was criticized a lot for its tombs because it's called Tomb Raider, and they were just kind of flimsy, weird little physics puzzles in not particularly exciting locations. In this game, they did do a lot more for the tombs. There are mechanics in tombs that you will not see anywhere else. There are assets, there are cool environs that you travel to, and then the reward still doesn't feel great, but that's a solid amount of playtime right there that we just did, no? So, I don't know. I feel like it's cool to go and do them as soon as you can in your first time through. A lot of them get locked off until later, granted, but still. And here we go, we got the mill. Alright, I think this is about where we were before. Continue to climb up the mess of the red mill here. I actually have got a bottle with me as well, as you'll notice here. I haven't lit it or anything, but I've kept the bottle with me just so that in case we see any posters on our way. Alright, cool. We open this locker. I believe that just takes us back down and around to where we've already seen. Indeed, it has. And we're almost at the top now. And, I mean, if you really stop to look, that's the zip wire that will take us back to where we were. Alright? You really stop to look. We've come a very long way. And we look kind of weird on our chainmail now. I'm curious, guys. I want to hear what your favorite outfit is as we've been playing through, because they can all look pretty divergent. All right, another document.
It's not nukes. Creepy-looking guy with a scarred face named Constantine gave us a big speech, talked about destiny and something called the Source. And frankly, I'm even more baffled. The other contractors seem to be just as antsy and nervous as I am. But the company men, the guys who've been with Trinity for a long time, they're drinking it up and asking for seconds. It's fucking Jonestown out here. We're preparing for an assault. Against who, you might ask? I mean, there's people here, like natives, lost in time. We're talking furs, skins, and iron arrowheads. We're about to go meet them with attack choppers and 50 cal machine guns. I'm on the wrong goddamn side.
Okay, I love this character. This guy's awesome. Remember, we met this guy, well, we heard from this guy already. He could be the guy with the coin caches. Could be. But that's just speculation as far as I understand. But this is the guy who has been wondering about why he's with Trinity. And yeah, it's so important they ask this. These natives seem to be lost in time. They're worth nothing. And they're bringing exactly helicopters to kill these people. How? And again, what is the source? They keep that dangling over our heads for a reasonably long period of time in this game, I must say. Where's my bottle? Is that my bottle? There we go. There's the bottle. Let's light that and burn that area down, shall we? We carried that far too long for it to be worth nothing now. Come on, Laura, in you go. Oh, careful, careful.
A small gentleman's pillbox with an enamel hammer and sickle.
It's hard to tell just how small these things are. You don't get a very good sense of the scale.
There's a residue inside and a strong smell. Some sort of amphetamines.
Oh, man. Okay. All right, there you go. So he had his own demons. There we go. And there we go. We get a nice little poster there. How many is that? 3 of 7? Yeah, 3 of 7. There's a lot of posters. Jeez. We genuinely are coming quite near to the end of this area. All right, that's fine. That one was easily missed as well. Oh, the bird. I love the thought of being able to shoot some of those birds out in midair. Oh, he's flying back at me to taunt me. No, come back. No. It's so weird the way he's going into the walls there. All right, so we can either shimmy or we can swing. Let's swing.
Lara, are you there? I'm pinned down, Lara. You need to get out.
Jacob! Shit.
God, the bodies. Jacob, you'd best be okay, bro.
Shit. They're already inside.
God willing. That'd be too easy. Let me see that activity log. I think it mentioned the safe. Your manifest says the Soviets stored the most valuable artifacts from the site in this safe. Let's crack it open. Who's got the torch? On it. Okay, the rest of you, don't touch anything. Catalog whatever artifacts you find.
All of this came out of the mine?
Yeah. The last reports say they shut down operations as soon as they found the site. The revolt must have come after, in the confusion.
This stuff is ancient. Writing's not Russian. Any idea where it's from?
Mix of Greek and Mongol, I think.
Greek and Mongol, those are the 2 languages we've been learning.
Just the hinges.
Not that simple. Look, they welded it shut. This is gonna take a while.
I want to see inside before Constantine gets here.
I get that, but I can't make this metal melt any faster.
You can if you stop talking.
You can explain why it's not open.
Oh, dude. See, do you think they've got the divine source there, guys?
Constantine's ETA.
He's heading straight for the upper mine shafts. They've got some promising readings from deeper inside. But he's sending his personal guard over here to cover us.
Shit. He still thinks the prisoners are a threat?
You didn't see what she did at the Gulag. She is a threat.
I like that they're scared of us. All right, that seems like all the dialogue. Now, you can all get burnt alive, because you're right. I am a threat.
This is it.
Oh, they were going to keep talking. Look at that. Crafty stealth kill, crafty stealth kill, crafty stealth kill. It's very much worthwhile using these things when you get to them, Oh my god, that's excellent. This is a bit of a fight here as well. I didn't just bypass the fight because none of them saw me, did I? Did I? No, I must be thinking of a different area. I feel bad. Look, and we're not interested in getting into the safe. Screw that. Using power tools is too much work for delicate little Lara. Far too much work. Oh, okay, well, let's drop our... Well, mind you. Did that work? Nope. No fire there. That reminded me, actually, I was reading this thing about how grenades in real life work and how most people who play video games, watch movies and stuff... Oh, crap. They don't really understand how grenades really work. And the fact that they don't kill with the explosion, but they kill by deliberately having, you know, rigid metal on them, fly off in all directions. Kind of like it's the shrapnel and it's the physical metal exploding and moving at incredible speeds that and breaking through your flesh. That's what kills you about grenades, not giant fireballs. Mostly, if a grenade goes off near you in real life, it's going to be very scary to feel the vibration and the you know, how loud it is and how much it shocks you. But really, it's just going to look like a cloud of dust more than anything else. All right, here we go. We ready? Gas can be ignited with fire or explosives. Well, what? The gas we already destroyed? Oh my god, they're still coming. All right. I want fire. I'm supposed to burn them to death, I think, as they were running along. Oh, they're still coming. No, come on. Oh, wait. Yeah. Get fucked. Whoa. Look at that go. Oh my god. Oh, I'm burning because I'm laughing at the physics of the game. I want to kill someone with a trap as well. I still haven't done it. But how would we? I don't know. We would have to score an individual stealth kill on someone, not burn them all to death, then be able to get to the body to set the trap, then run off. Let's kill him. Oh, he's damaged and we need the finishing blow. You have to shout while you're using the machine gun. No. Okay, yeah, we got him. Sorry, kiddo. Alright, once again, we'll throw this from cover. He can't do anything. Good. At this rate, we will max all of our perks out before the end of the game, which is more than I can say for the first time I played. Crafty's just too good. Oof, right in the head. Another guy burned down. Good stuff. We got another bottle. I'm enjoying this. Can you imagine playing the rest of the game purely just using stuff like this? Well, here's a poster. It's hard to think that we are responsible for doing that when everything else is on fire right now, but that's fine. 4 of 7. 3 more to go. We'll ignore that gas there. I think that's fine. Just trying to keep my eye out, guys. I know it slows down the pace, but hey, that's what Tomb Raider is. That's how these games function these days. Just massive amounts of collectathonning. Like almost obscene levels. Alright, what do we do here? What do we do? Alright, we do have a bottle. Shh. It's alright, guys. It's alright. Chill. Probably not the best way to use the bottle. But hey, fine. I'll take the extra experience. Do we want to try and beat him to death? Come on, beat him to death. Yes! Strangle him. That I always find weird, that animation there, because if you do that to someone from behind from stealth, you don't have to mash E. But if you do it in the middle of a fight, you do have to press E. It just doesn't seem to make any sense. Alright, so we finally return to these guys. These are very similar to what we had in the previous game, where you kind of have to bait them into a big melee attack, press C to dodge, and then you can kill them. Of course, there are other options, though, such as setting them on fire. I'll show you guys the intended way here. So you dodge like that with C, and then you're going to try and counterattack. So here we go. Let's try it. Bit of hand-to-hand combat. And then you beat the crap out of him, as you can see. We really could have been played on a harder difficulty. Oh, well. I say that now, but I remember last time we played where we did... Oh, my God. You killed your own man. You killed your own man up there. Where is he? Is he... Oh, well, here's a third one now. Just try and shoot him in the head. Oh, wait, hold on. We do also have poison, which, again, is another big thing that you can do. Got another bottle. And I think the coup de grace of this now is we have to do 2 at once. I love how pointless that door is at this point. Oh, what? I thought you had to kill 1, then 2, and then 2 at once. Maybe we did kill 2 at once, I just never realised. Hold on, before we abandon this area here, let's just do one final little look for any posters. Ooh, I got some frame drop there. That was a bit scary. Well, the thing is, I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any posters in this room because I don't think you can ever return to this room. For speculative reasons, maybe, but the fact that it's all about to get burnt down should be quite obvious. Alright. Okay, Lara, let's bail. Oh, look, there's a fight. Don't forget we're doing this for Jacob. Jacob, we see that you're in trouble over there. What a hero.
We seem to be making a habit of saving each other.
Thanks. I'm glad you're okay. Is that the way through?
Yes. There'll be more of them inside. You don't have to do this.
Can't get rid of me so easily. I still need some answers.
And there's no time to waste.
No time at all. And there you go. That, guys, woof, is the Soviet installation complete.